Very good morning to all the participants once again on the second day of 3 days National Online FDP Faculty Development Program and Management Development Program on Research Methodology, Tools and Technique. I welcome our today's most eminent speaker, resource person, Professor Andy Mathur sir. He is currently working as a Director, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Manipal University, Jaipur. He is the former professor, Department of Economic Administration and Financial Management, former director, University 5-year Law College, and former director, UGC Academic Staff College, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. What can I say about Professor Mathur sir? I have no words. He has been my mentor, guru during my research when I was doing PhD in the EFM department. It's my honor that I completed my PhD in the same department where the sir is working. So I am very thankful to you, sir. Now I am, friends, like yesterday, we will incorporate your queries in the chat box of Zoom and comment box of YouTube. And I will also send today's assignment like yesterday at the end of the session. And one thing I want to clarify with all of you that about the yesterday's assignment. In yesterday's assignment, the question number 1 was mistakenly framed by our computer operator. So we will give bonus marks for this question. So there is no problem. Don't worry about that. The question number 1, the answer was standard deviation. So it's not a problem. I have received so many queries about this on my WhatsApp and email. So we will give bonus marks for this question. So there is no worry about this. And the topic of today's program is research paradigm from hypothesis to thesis. Now I invite Professor S.S. Modi to speak some few words.
Good morning to all dear friends. I thank all of you for successful program for the first day delivery by Professor Dr. Rana Singh ji. We all enjoyed and your appreciations received for the program. I thank for it. I welcome all the dignitaries, Professor Andy Mathur Saab, today's resource person, very renowned professor, great academician, invited almost all the days, all parts of the country, delivering various topics in various fields like commerce, science, law, research, everything. At present, he is providing services at Manipal University, Jaipur. And we will definitely benefited by today's delivery also. Now, I hand over to Professor Dr. Andy Mathur sir.
मुझसे होगा आप ही करेंगे
आप कर लीजिए सर.
स्क्रीन ठीक करो, शेयर स्क्रीन कर दूं मैं? Good morning, everybody. I'm extremely thankful to the Inspira Research Organization for having invited me in this FDP and MDP of 3-day series of lectures. Yesterday, we have listened to Professor Rana, who is Vice Chancellor at Mathur, and he talked on various issues relating to technology and the techniques of research. Friends, I'll be talking to you today on research paradigm, that is the research mindset from hypothesis to thesis. There are various steps involved during the process of research, and the research begins with the hypothesis and ends at the thesis. So that is why I have kept the topic research paradigm from hypothesis to thesis. Friends, before I come to that, look at this slide. There is an entry behavior. You have all joined at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. And this is door gate of Inspira Research Association-IRA. And then at 1 o'clock, we'll close this lecture. So that is the exit behavior. And any training program, FDP or MDP or any refresher course, any training program, it has a purpose. Whether it is FDP or it is MDP or a refresher or an orientation. And the purpose is to imbibe some skill in the audience, whosoever is listening to this, whosoever has joined this program, some skill should be transmitted, some skill should be imbibed, some additional knowledge should be imbibed, and that is the purpose of a training program. If you see this slide, you will find that the person who is entering the door gate of IRA, he seems to be slightly unorganized, undisciplined, not disciplined. He seems to be lesser smart, seems to be less groomed, but after attending the FDP and MDP, one who is making his exit, the exit behavior is different. He seems to be much more groomed, much more organized, much more goal-oriented, much more smart, and it seems that now he knows what he has to do. And that is the probably purpose of any FDP or MDP. I wish that after these 3 days program, FDP and MDP which you are attending, you will be more knowledgeable in the area of research, you will have more tools, more technology, you will have more tools in your armory or your kit, and you will have more knowledge about the research process, research design, technology, tools, etc. Slide changing. Now look at this slide, the journey of the researcher. The researcher's journey begins with unconscious unknown. There are 4 quadrants here, the unconscious unknown, the conscious unknown, then conscious known and unconscious known. मित्रों, हम में से बहुत से लोगों को ये भी नहीं पता कि हमें क्या पता नहीं है. We do not know what we do not know. That is unconscious unknown. Yesterday, Rana Saab discussed about various new things which I never knew about business research. Various tools which I never knew about business research. That was my unconscious unknown. कि मुझे नहीं पता कि मुझे क्या नहीं पता है. कल राणा साहब ने जब बताया तो मुझे पता चला कि ये चीजें मुझे नहीं पता है. Now this became conscious unknown. अब मुझे पता है कि मुझे क्या नहीं पता. So second step is from unconscious unknown to conscious unknown. और जब मुझे पता चल गया कि मुझे क्या नहीं पता है तो फिर मैं उसके बारे में पता करूंगा. Then this becomes conscious known. कि अब मुझे पता है कि मुझे क्या पता करना है, या मैंने उसको गूगल में पढ़ा, उसके बारे में शाम को देखा. This became the conscious known. But friends, finally unconscious known is very important. कि हम में से बहुत से लोगों को ये भी नहीं पता कि हमें क्या पता है. We do not have faith in our potential. We don't know what we know. We don't have belief in our potential, and that is unconscious known. Then how to know about your unconscious known? Because the journey of the researcher ends here, right? From unconscious unknown to unconscious known. Who will tell you what is your potential? Let us, Aarti ma'am, are you hearing me? Aarti ma'am, are you hearing me? Aarti ma'am? Follow mic. Aarti ma'am, can you hear me?
I think out of here.
Aarti ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear
Yes.
you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No, I asked you one question.
Yes, sir.
मान लीजिए 1 किलोमीटर पैदल जाना, आप कितनी देर में जा सकते हैं?
Sir, I think around 10 to 12 minutes. I think
10 to
10
12
minutes.
minutes. Very good. 10 to 12 minutes.
जी
अच्छा,
sir.
मान लीजिए 1 लाख रुपए का अवार्ड है, आप कितनी देर में जा सकते हैं?
Sir, I think the motivation will decrease the time and it will be around 8 minutes.
Very good. You reduce the time now. अच्छा, आपके पीछे एक बहुत तेज भागने वाला कुत्ता छोड़ दिया जाए, आप कितनी देर में जा सकते हैं?
सर, वहाँ तो लाइफ की बात आ जाएगी, तो टू सेव द लाइफ इट विल फर्दर डिक्रीज टू 6 minutes.
Okay. So Aarti ma'am began with 10 to 12 minutes. That this is potential, that I can reach 1 kilometer in 12 minutes. Then
Yes,
she
sir.
came to 8 minutes when there was a motivation. And then finally she came to 6 minutes when there was life-saving threat was there. So potential is 6 minutes. But she began with 12 minutes. She did not know my potential is 6 minutes. And normally it happens that we don't know what is our potential. Then who will tell you what is your potential? Your mentors will tell you what is your potential. Your teachers will tell you what is your potential. And frequently visit your teachers and mentors so that you can come to know what is your unconscious known, what is your potential, because they can take risk on you. आप सबको पता होगा, अभी ताजा रामायण आपने देखी है कि हनुमान जी को नहीं पता था कि वो समुद्र लांघ सकते हैं. किसने बताया था उनको कि वो समुद्र लांघ सकते हैं?
Sir, Jamwant, he was like a mentor and guide to him. So Jamwant.
Yes. So we all need Jamvans in our life. We all need Jamvans in our life to tell us what is our unconscious known. As Jamvant was mentor for Hanumanji, we all can become mentors for each other. There is some strength in me, some strength in you, some strength in Mehta Saab, some strength in Aarti Madam. So we can use each other's strength and learn from each other. And that is the purpose of all these exercises we are doing. Now we come to research directly. The point is, why research? Why do we do research? हमारा काम चल रहा है बिना रिसर्च के, आखिर जरूरत क्या है रिसर्च करने की? Why should somebody do research?
Anjali?
Some people say researcher conduct research to discover facts, truths, and explanations about the social world. Or they write research reports to convey their knowledge and other research findings. Somebody is doing to get the research findings. Somebody is doing for discovering the facts and the truths. Somebody is doing to point out the useful information. Some people feel that is entry card for academia. If I will not do research, I cannot become a professor. I cannot become a teacher. So it is entry card for academia. Some people say, I have to add doctor in the prefix of my name. So मुझे तो डॉक्टर लगाना है अपने नाम के आगे, इसलिए मुझे PhD करनी है. Or some people say it will be radically change my discipline. I want to contribute to my discipline. Some say it will advance the knowledge of my discipline, or I get to learn by doing PhD, or it is to fill the knowledge gap, or it is to solve a problem. So there can be various versions. But normally, why research is done? Research fulfills a knowledge gap. Whenever we find that there is some academic gap in that some area, some research gap in some area, that gap needs to be fulfilled. And that is why we need to do research, so that the knowledge gap can be fulfilled. Or if we can solve a problem solving research. So normally, the knowledge gap is fulfilled by doing the research, and that is the purpose of doing research. But there are various versions, and there are various motivations to the people of doing PhD. There are many bureaucrats who have been awarded PhD, even after their retirement and even during their... There are many government officers who have done PhD, but they have done with a different purpose. Their purpose was any of the purpose which we have discussed here. Then, friends, we come to stages of research. What are various stages of research? And to my mind, there are basically 5 important stages of research. First is preparation. Second is incubation. Third is intimation. Fourth is illumination. And fifth is verification. So right from preparation to verification. Now, preparation is a stage in which you bother about a problem. Sometimes the researcher, because 36 students have been awarded PhD under my supervision, and sometimes the researcher comes, sir, what should be my topic? I say, why? Why should I say what is your topic? Or what should be your topic? What bothers you in your discipline? The topic evolves from where? What bothers you in your discipline? What bothers you in your subject? That if you are an economics student, and if you have gone to market and you see that the wholesale price index is coming down, but the market prices are up. So this bothers you that when WPI is less, why the market prices are going up? And that is why something should bother your mind. That is preparation stage. You should be intellectually restless. One should be intellectually restless. You should feel restlessness. And that restlessness is preparatory stage, preparation stage. Thinking about a problem, conceiving a problem, in fact. You have to conceive a problem. If you do not have a problem, you have to conceive a problem. That is preparation stage. Bothering about a problem, feeling intellectually restless about a problem. Why it is necessary? Because until you are not restless about a problem, until you don't feel intellectually restlessness, you will not complete or you will not find the solution of the problem. It becomes your mission only when you feel restlessness inside your mind. The mind restlessness is important. The research begins with this intellectual restlessness. Then the second important stage of research is incubation. That solutions of the problem, they don't come instantaneously. कि आज समस्या आपको पता लगी कल समाधान मिल गया. अभी तो कोरोना का ही समाधान नहीं मिल रहा है, हमें वैक्सीन नहीं मिल रहा. So we are in the incubation stage of finding the vaccine of corona. That problems cannot be solved instantaneously. It takes time. And incubation is taking a break from the problem. Now lockdown is what? Lockdown is taking a break. That meanwhile we can find out some solutions. Meanwhile we can find out some vaccine. So this is incubation stage, where you are relaxed. You get away from the problem. You are away from the problem, and you feel that simultaneously problems and solutions cannot come. It takes time. So you incubate yourself. So lockdown is incubation period, in fact. Then third stage is intimation. Now this is a stage in which you find the way to solve the problem. You are on the way to solve the problem. You make your objectives, you make your hypothesis, you are clear about your techniques and tools. This is intimation stage. That you have framed your research design. This is intimation stage, that you are on the way to solve the problem. But the problem has yet not been solved. Only the perception has become clear. And the fourth important stage is illumination stage. Illumination means brightness. You have cracked the jackpot. You have solved the problem. You have found the solution of the problem. Whatever hypothesis you had in mind, your alternative hypothesis has been selected. And you could find out the good findings, good conclusions. Your statistical significance has been found in t-test and f-test or ANOVA. So this is illumination. You have solved the problem. You have cracked the jackpot. So illumination is a stage which is eureka moment in your life. Mil gaya, mil gaya, mil gaya, eureka, eureka, eureka. You know, there was a mathematician, Archimedes. And Archimedes had a problem in his mind. In fact, I would say good idea come at a very bad time. When you are either driving or you are dining or you are doing something else very important, the good idea will haunt your mind. But whenever a good idea haunts your mind, please note it down so that it can be retrieved. Share it with somebody so that it can be retrieved. Because they come at a very bad time and they are slippery also. They come very quickly and they go back very quickly. So whenever a good idea haunts your mind, then definitely it should be shared, it should be written down, it should be mentioned so that it can be retrieved, because they are slippery also. So the good idea came to Archimedes' mind when he was in bathtub. And suddenly he found that his problem was how to find out the volume of an irregularly shaped object. And when he was entering the bathtub, the water was being displaced. And suddenly he found that the water being displaced is the volume of my body, and this way I can find out the solution of the problem. And he shouted, Eureka, Eureka, Eureka. Mil gaya, mil gaya, mil gaya. So the good idea came to him at a very bad time when I was in bathtub. That's why I was saying that good ideas come normally not at the normal time, but the abnormal time. And this happened with Archimedes. And the final stage is verification stage. That all ideas which come to your mind may not be workable, may not work sometimes. What worked in Bhilwara could not work in Ramganj. So verification stage is one in which you have to check your idea. You have to check the worth of the idea, validation of the idea, or verification of the idea, whether it works or it doesn't work. So you need to be a researcher in the first 4 stages, but you need to be focused in the last stage of verification. So friends, there are 5 stages of research, right from preparation, where you are bothering about a problem, you feel intellectually restless about the problem. Then incubation, when you go away from the problem. The third, when you are on the way to solve the problem. The fourth, when you solve the problem, that is the eureka moment of your life. And finally, the verification, that is when you start applying the problem for getting the solution. These are the 5 important stages of research. Then we move to type of research. Research can be of various types, like applied problem-solving research. Applied research is problem-solving research. Find the solution of corona, it is applied research. That we will get the vaccine, and this is part of the research, experimental applied research. Or if some research is curiosity-driven, it is fundamental research. If in some research, we find out the cause and effect inference, cause and effect relationship, that if the prices goes up, what happens to demand? If the prices goes up, what happened to supply. If the fiscal stimulus comes, 20 lakh crore rupees fiscal stimulus has been announced by Modi ji. Now, this is the cause. What will be the effect of this fiscal stimulus? Whether the effective demand in the economy will increase or not increase. This is quantitative research or empirical research. Then exploratory research or qualitative research, which begins with informal discussions or the interviews, or to explore it is to explore a problem not clearly defined. Case studies are used in it, pilot studies are used in it. It is in-depth interviews also, focus groups also. This is called exploratory research. Then descriptive research, in which statistical tools are used. This is portraying about individuals or portraying about certain groups. Historical research, which goes with analysis of events, series of events, and the history moves with sources. You need sources to prove the history. A day before yesterday, somebody came to meet me, Major Mathur, who is working on the historical research, and he wrote an article on the various, he wrote an article about the Pitra Rin or the Dev Rin in the Vedas which have been mentioned. And then he found the similar things in other cultures and other histories and compared with them. So this kind of research is known as historical research, which moves with sources, because research needs sources, where from it has come. So history moves with sources. If there is no source, there cannot be evidence of the research. And finally, the phenomenological research, that is study of experience from perception of an individual. Suppose you are doing research on Gandhian theory. Now, what was Gandhian perception about Gandhian economics? Or we work on Modi's theory, or we work on Schumpeter's theory, or we work on the various other persons, the Manmohan Singh model, Rao Manmohan Singh model, or the Mahalanobis model. So what is the person's perception about a particular problem? This type of research is known as phenomenological study or phenomenological research. So after types of research, we come to various components of research, or the components of research paradigm. As I was talking about hypothesis to thesis. And hypothesis to thesis, the various components are selection of topic, objective of research, review of literature, research gap, finding the research gap, formulating a hypothesis, null and alternative hypothesis, collection of data, it can be primary or secondary, then choosing the appropriate statistical tools, selecting the appropriate and statistical tools, then appropriate statistical tool selection, then analysis and interpretation, construction of right models, recommendations, conclusions, policy implications, and then references, footnotes and bibliography, APA method, LA method, Indian journal, and then future area of research, finding out the future areas of research. These are the 12 components I have tried to identify. You may add a few more components, delete if you feel some components are not necessary. But more or less, these are the components of research paradigm from hypothesis to thesis. And this begins with selection of topic and ends at the finding out the future areas of research. Now, friends, selection of topic, I have already talked about that a topic begins with preparation stage, that something should bother your mind. Something should bother your mind. If nothing, I was delivering this lecture somewhere, and one lecturer of a college stood up and she asked, "Sir, now if nothing bothers my mind, then what to do? Should I do research or I should not do?" And I said, "You should not do research then. If nothing bothers your mind, then why are you going for research? You should feel restless about doing something." Selection of topic, it begins with the restlessness, it begins with bothering of something, it begins with preparation stage. Then comes the objectives of research. That once you bother about a problem, you feel certain research questions. Some objectives, what you want to do, to study this or to entertain this or to investigate this problem or to entertain, to investigate or to find out or to dig out. The objectives begin with this and have 3, 4 objectives, 5 objectives. Don't have a very large number of objectives in research. Have specific objectives which must connect with your hypothesis, which must connect with your results, and it must connect with the final conclusions until final conclusions. So have selected objectives in your mind, that what you want to investigate, what type of relationships between two variables you want to find out, or between various variables, among various variables you want to find out, go with this. This is objective of research. That if you are doing research on globalization, then what you want to find out. Then there are various areas you want to find out about dumping also, you want to find out about service sector also, you want to find out about increase in exports due to globalization also. So whatever you want to find out, these can become the objectives of research. Then comes the review of literature, the third important thing. And you all know, review of literature is very important part of research. What earlier researchers have done, what existing researchers have done, prior to you, who has done what in that area, and you must know what is the existing body of knowledge in that area. That is review of literature. Then comes research gap. Now, what is the purpose of doing the research, purpose of doing the review of literature? Why do we do the review of literature? The answer is that review of literature is done to find out the research gap. The purpose of research gap, the purpose of review of literature, sometimes people don't know why we are doing review of literature, and they will see this journal and that article, but they don't know what to do with that. They will take conclusions from that, they will write it, but I have evaluated number of PhD theses, and in the number of theses, I found review of literature very sound, but finally they forgot to find out the research gap out of it. They could not find out the research gap, and then they completed their PhD also. So these PhDs are however PhDs, that he has done this, he has done this, he has done this, looking to this, but he forgot to do research gap or forgot to find out the relationship. But however, looking to the effort of the PhD candidate, the PhD degree should be awarded to the candidate. So they forget that review of literature has a purpose, and the purpose is to find out the research gap. And that knowledge gap has to be fulfilled. That is the research. Research is only because you want to fulfill a knowledge gap. And this knowledge gap has to be identified through the research gap, through the review of literature. So review of literature sometimes is very strong, but sometimes we fail to find out the gap. And then ये भी जरूरी नहीं है कि सारा गैप आप ही पूरा करें, कोई दूसरा रिसर्चर भी कर सकता है. तो उस गैप में से भी आप कौन सा हिस्सा पूरा करने जा रहे हैं, इस बात की बात आप करें. Once you find out the research gap, the next step is the formulating hypothesis. अभी मैं एब्स्ट्रैक्ट्स पर बात कर रहा हूं, फिर मैं डिटेल बात करूंगा इन सब की. Now, what is an hypothesis? ये hypothesis क्या चीज है साहब आखिर? ये परिकल्पना क्या चीज है? Hypothesis क्या चीज है? In fact, it is the perception, initial perception of the researcher. What a researcher feels about a problem. What is my initial perception about corona? That perception may go wrong after testing. So it is not tested so far. The perception is not tested so far. So hypothesis is initial perception of the researcher. And the perception has yet to be tested. It is not final. It is not final result. It has to be tested. that whether this perception is correct or it is wrong. And that is why we make null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. And if your perception is correct, then your alternative hypothesis is accepted. And you say that finally what I feel, what was my perception is coming true also. Then collection of data. You all know that data are primary, data are secondary. Data के बारे में कहा जाता है, if there is one death, it is tragedy. But if there are millions of deaths, it is data, it is statistics. एक आदमी मरता है तो ट्रेजेडी है, और मिलियंस मर रहे हैं इस कोरोना में, then it is a statistics, it is a data. So we may have primary research or primary collection of data through questionnaire or through interviews or through other methods, and we can meet the people to collect the data. We can become respondent, we can become an investigator, and we can go to respondents and get responses. We have to decide the size of the sample. Sampling has to be done. But sometimes the data are already available in published sources, like GDP data are published by National Sample Survey Organization, or CMI gives a database. CMI itself is a database. It gives you database about various corporate companies and the Indian economy also. So there are database available, and secondary data can be taken from these database. Then you have to choose appropriate statistical tools. Professor Rana yesterday talked about various statistical tools and SPSS also, and then dynamic working of the SPSS also we discussed about that, how dynamic data or the real time data can be used. We talked about this. So you have to choose the right statistical tools, whether you will use correlation or regression, multiple regression, or ANOVA or t-test or f-test or chi-square test. Appropriate tools have to be selected. I'll not talk much on tools because I am talking about the procedure of research rather than tools of research. Tools have already been discussed by Professor Rana. Then construction of right models. Now, you know what are models? In fashion industry, models are what? Models are after all models. They cannot become good housewives sometimes. I have seen many theses in which good models have been shown. But what can be naturally proved, they use econometric models to prove that. तो बहुत सी ऐसी चीजें हैं जिनको प्रूव करना बहुत आसान है, लेकिन हम अननेसेसरी इकोनोमेट्रिक मॉडल्स का यूज करते हैं. मान लीजिए हमारी हाइपोथेसिस है, those who celebrate more birthdays they live longer. क्या क्या प्रूव करना चाह रहे हैं हमसे? जिसकी बर्थडे ज्यादा सेलिब्रेट हुई है वो तो वैसे ही उसकी उम्र ज्यादा होगी. उसमें किसी इकोनोमेट्रिक मॉडल की जरूरत है क्या? ये किसी मॉडल को बनाने की जरूरत है क्या? So don't use the I call them catwalk models. वो मॉडल थीसिस में इसलिए होते हैं कि खूबसूरत लगे थीसिस अच्छी लगे, but they don't prove anything. So please get rid of those catwalk models. आजकल आप कॉन्फ्रेंसेज में अगर आप जाएं तो बहुत सारे पेपर्स तो आ जाते हैं, और हर पेपर में आप देखेंगे क्रॉन बैच अल्फा भी लगा हुआ है और मॉडल्स भी लगे हुए हैं, लेकिन उनको पता भी नहीं कि आखिर ये जो रिजल्ट्स आए इनका मतलब क्या है. तो इन सब चीजों से दूर रहना चाहिए, और जहां जिस चीज की जरूरत है वहीं उसको उपयोग में लाना चाहिए. वी शुड कंस्ट्रक्ट राइट मॉडल्स. मॉडल के कंस्ट्रक्शन में ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि हमारे राइट वेरिएबल्स हो. एक्सप्लेनेटरी वेरिएबल्स जो डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल है, इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स हैं, वो करेक्ट हो. और जो नॉन मेजरेबल चीजें हैं, बहुत सी चीजें जो मेजरेबल भी नहीं होती हैं, आप कैसे पता लगाएंगे? व्हाट इज द वार्मथ इन द स्माइल बीइंग थ्रोन बाय एयर होस्टेस? एक एयर होस्टेस की जो स्माइल है उसमें कितनी वार्मथ है, इसको मेजर कर सकते हैं आप? साइकोलॉजिकली बहुत सारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स हो सकते हैं इसको मेजर करने के, बट बहुत सारे वेरिएबल्स ऐसे हैं जो अनमेजरेबल वेरिएबल्स हैं, उनके लिए डमी वेरिएबल्स कई बार काम में लाए जाते हैं. देन कम्स द एनालिसिस एंड इंटरप्रिटेशन. कि आपने जब सही टूल्स लगा दिए हैं, हाइपोथेसिस टेस्ट कर ली है, देन हाउ टू एनालाइज योर conclusions, how to get the conclusions, how to interpret the conclusions. Because sometimes the result which you are getting, it has to be verified inductively and deductively both. आपने तो बहुत अच्छी तरह रिसर्च किया है, पर जो निर्णय आया है, निष्कर्ष आया है, वो मैच ही नहीं कर रहा है. आप एक कंप्यूटर से पूछें कि दो घड़ियां हैं, एक घड़ी बंद पड़ी है और दूसरी घड़ी 10 मिनट आगे चल रही है, तो वेयर इज द लेस एरर? तो घड़ी कहे, वो कंप्यूटर कहेगा कि जो घड़ी बंद पड़ी है वो खरीद लीजिए, वो बेटर है, क्योंकि वो कम से कम 24 घंटे में 2 बार सही समय दे रही है, और जो 10 मिनट आगे है वो 24 घंटे में एक बार भी सही समय नहीं दे रही है. तो एरर किस में कम है? जो बंद पड़ी है. सो दैट इज बेटर देन the A is better than the B. But whether this conclusion is correct, the conclusions have to be matched in the that is why we need a verification stage. I talked about 5th stage of research, that was verification. Whatever illumination results in the eureka moment we have obtained, that has to be verified whether these results match with the other researchers' results or not, whether they are correct or not, whether they are workable or not, whether there is some worth in that or not. Otherwise, if they cannot be verified, it means there has been some fault in your data or something wrong has done somewhere in the process. Then comes recommendations, conclusions, and policy implications. Now, you have to recommend. If you have done some research, what are your recommendations? If you have done research on banking, what do you recommend? What will be the impact of repo rate or the reverse repo rate? And whether you recommend further fall of the repo rate or the further increase in the repo rate. What is your recommendation? Or if you are a student of economics, then whether you want more fiscal stimulus or you feel that this fiscal stimulus which has been given for Corona, which is 10% of GDP, this will bring macroeconomic paradoxes and this will create disaster in the macroeconomics of the country. So some recommendations must be there. What do you recommend? What are your findings and what do you recommend? And those recommendations must go to the right place. If you have done some research on banks, then it must go to banks and they must be benefited by that. Yes, उनको लगना चाहिए कि आपने जो रिसर्च की है उनको फायदा हो रहा है. Then policy implications. क्या उससे कोई पॉलिसी में बदलाव किया जाना संभव है? आप देखिए इस साल का जो नोबेल प्राइज मिला अभिजीत बनर्जी को इकोनॉमिक्स का और उनकी वाइफ को एस्थर डुफ्लो को, उनकी रिसर्च यही थी कि वो चाहते थे कि पॉवर्टी रेडिकेशन जो करना है उसके लिए पॉलिसी में बदलाव जरूरी है और हर जगह के लिए कस्टमाइज्ड पॉलिसी होनी चाहिए. एंड दे मेड सर्टेन एक्सपेरिमेंट्स जो पॉवर्टी के एक्सपेरिमेंट्स कहलाए, जे पेल के नाम से उनका और जो है एक्सपेरिमेंट्स होते थे. और वो जो एक्सपेरिमेंट्स उन्होंने किए उससे कई देशों को फायदा हुआ क्योंकि उन्होंने उसमें पॉलिसी में बदलाव किए. इस देश में एजुकेशन बढ़ सकती है अगर वो खाने के साथ तो वो एजुकेशन के साथ मिड डे मील भी दें, या इस देश में अगर हेल्थ पर ध्यान दें तो एजुकेशन बढ़ सकती है. या इस देश में कस्टमाइज उन्होंने काम किए. राजस्थान के उदयपुर में सेवा मंदिर समिति में उन्होंने काम किया और वहां एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किए और पता लगाया कि राजस्थान में आदिवासियों के लिए क्या करना चाहिए जिससे इनकी पॉवर्टी रेडिकेट की जा सके. सो पॉलिसी इंप्लीकेशंस, आप उससे पॉलिसी में क्या बदलाव चाहते हैं? आजकल एक नई इकोनॉमी बड़ी है, गिग इकोनॉमी. लेबर रिफॉर्म्स की बात चल रही है. यूपी और एमपी ने तो लेबर रिफॉर्म्स को सस्पेंड ही कर दिया है. माइग्रेंट्स की बात चल रही है. तो आखिर ये जो माइग्रेंट्स रिवर्स माइग्रेशन हुआ है, अब हमें लेबर रिफॉर्म्स में क्या परिवर्तन की जरूरत है कि इनके इंटरेस्ट को हम अब गांव में ही प्रोटेक्ट कर पाए. जो स्विगी के वर्कर्स हैं, जो ओला के वर्कर्स हैं, या जो अमेजन के वर्कर्स हैं, इनकी सेवाओं को कैसे रिफॉर्म किस तरह से आगे बढ़ा जाए, क्या पॉलिसी में बदलाव की जरूरत है, ये सब चीजें बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है. और आपकी थीसिस अगर कोई पॉलिसी में बदलाव ला सकती है. देखिए कुछ लोगों ने इस पर काम किया, एसिड अटैक पर काम किया और उससे पॉलिसी में बदलाव आया कि एसिड बिकना ही बंद हो गया. सरकारी नीतियों में बदलाव आया उससे. And then finally references, footnotes and bibliography. और आप सब जानते हैं कि bibliography और references में क्या फर्क होता है. References are given at the end of the chapter, bibliography given at the end of the thesis. और bibliography में वो सब चीजें आती हैं जो आपने क्या पूरी किताब में पढ़ा हो, किताब का चैप्टर भी पढ़ा हो तो उस किताब का मेंशन उसमें आएगा. And bibliography is for books and journals and the websites also. There is bibliography also nowadays. और रेफरेंसेस में जो आपने जो पेज पढ़ा है, जो चैप्टर पढ़ा है, जो पेज नंबर पढ़ा है, पेज नंबर में भी आपने जो स्पेसिफिकली जहां से लिया है, दैट रेफरेंस हैज टू बी गिवन. एंड देयर आर फुटनोट्स. अभी इन सब की बात करूंगा मैं. लेकिन नॉर्मली बिब्लियोग्राफी की 3 मेथड्स हैं. APA is American Psychology Association, MLA is Modern Language Association, and then there is Indian method of writing bibliography also, which is known as Indian Journal. And finally, the future areas of research. कि आपने जो काम किया है, नॉलेज गैप पूरा किया है, उसमें कौन सी बात ऐसी रह गई जिस पर आगे के रिसर्चर्स को काम करना चाहिए. What the future researcher should do, and you should process or the limitation of data, what other researchers can get and get the relay race and complete the research which is still uncompleted. So friends, these are the various components of research paradigm, right from hypothesis to thesis. Normally, this is the structure of a PhD thesis, reporting structure of a PhD thesis. Normally, there are 6-7 chapters in every thesis. The outline of the thesis is given here. The first chapter will be introduction. The second will be research review of literature. Third will be research methodology. And then 4, 5, 6 chapter ये आपके tools and techniques के, analysis के, policy implications के होते हैं. And then finally conclusions. So there is a set pattern of reporting structure. Academic reporting is very important. And it is different from other kind of reporting. Academic reporting और अखबार की reporting में बड़ा फर्क है. The other reportings are colloquial, आम भाषा में होती है. But academic reporting is concise and precise. To the point होती है, concise और precise होती है, बहुत लंबी लंबी नहीं होती है. And academic reporting जो है वो PhD thesis ही नहीं होती है. Academic reporting में PhD thesis भी आती है, dissertations भी आते हैं, vision documents भी आते हैं. किसी organization का अगर vision document बनाना है वो भी academic writing का part है. या मान लीजिए आपको कोई टास्क दे दिया है, उस टास्क को कंप्लीट करना है, आपको एक मीटिंग की रिपोर्ट देनी है, आप एक कमेटी बना दी और कमेटी की रिपोर्ट लिखनी है, दैट इज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ एकेडमिक राइटिंग. या मान लीजिए 15th फाइनेंस कमीशन को अपनी रिपोर्ट देनी है, दैट इज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ एकेडमिक राइटिंग. या कोरोना पर आपको कोई रिपोर्ट देनी है, दैट इज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ एकेडमिक राइटिंग. सो एकेडमिक राइटिंग में बहुत सारी चीज, रिसर्च पेपर जो आप लिखते हैं दैट इज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ एकेडमिक राइटिंग. आप रिसर्च पेपर लिखते हैं या आप एक थीम पेपर लिखते हैं, किसी आप सेक्शनल चेयरमैन है किसी कॉन्फ्रेंस के और आपको थीम पेपर लिखना है कोई, दैट इज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ एकेडमिक राइटिंग. लेकिन सबका मेथड अलग अलग है. थीसिस का स्ट्रक्चर मैंने आपको बताया कि नॉर्मली जो मैंने आपको दिखाया, इंट्रोडक्शन, रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर, मेथोडोलॉजी, देन योर मेन ये जो चौथा, पांचवा और छठा चैप्टर है, दैट इज द पीस ऑफ रिसर्च. There should be some piece of research in your thesis. What is your contribution? Your contribution is very necessary. What you have contributed comes in between of the thesis, chapter number 4, 5, and 6. And then finally the findings, conclusions, policy recommendations, future areas of research comes in the 7th chapter. And this completes your thesis. Then comes bibliography and appendices, etc. Now, this is reporting structure of a thesis. Then, suppose you are writing a report of the vision document. Then, what a vision document must have? A vision document must show where you want to see yourself after 10 years. अगर आप राजस्थान विश्वविद्यालय का विजन डॉक्यूमेंट लिख रहे हैं, 10 साल बाद आप अपने आप को कहाँ देखना चाहते हैं विश्वविद्यालय. So you must give your vision that we want to make this university in first 100 universities of the country. That is the vision. or we want that it should be A double plus. It must get A double plus from NAC. That must come in the vision. Similarly, अगर आप कोई कमेटी की रिपोर्ट लिख रहे हैं या आप मान लीजिए थीम पेपर लिख रहे हैं कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए, तो एकेडमिक राइटिंग में उसमें किन चीजों पर आप बहस करवाना चाहते हैं कॉन्फ्रेंस में, the issues have to be identified. That what issues you have identified for discussion. So theme paper must contain the issues, various issues of research which you want to discuss there. So as a sectional chairman, when you are writing a theme paper, you have to find out and you have to identify the issues to be discussed in the conference. Similarly, sometimes special purpose vehicles are formed. I remember when I was director of the university library in Assar University, a special purpose vehicle was formed because एक ग्रांट मिली थी यूनिवर्सिटी की नई बिल्डिंग बनाने के लिए, तो एक स्पेशल कमेटी बनाई गई जिसमें डायरेक्टर ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी लाइब्रेरी, सीनियर प्रोफेसर्स ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी एंड देन यूनिवर्सिटी इंजीनियर, और उस स्पेशल पर्पस व्हीकल को एक काम दिया कि आप देश की सबसे अच्छी अच्छी लाइब्रेरी में जाइए और देख कर आइए कि उन लाइब्रेरीज में क्या कंपोनेंट्स इंपॉर्टेंट है. So I as a director went to various libraries of the country, Osmania University Library, Hyderabad Central University, Institute of Public Enterprise, ISB Hyderabad, NLU Delhi, NLU Bangalore. We went to various good libraries and found out what are the good things in the library. And वहाँ का जो टेक्नोलॉजिकल वहाँ के मॉडर्नाइजेशन था लाइब्रेरी का, वो सब लाने की कोशिश की राजस्थान यूनिवर्सिटी की लाइब्रेरी में, नई बिल्डिंग में उसको लगाने की कोशिश की, या उसके प्रस्ताव हमने उस कमेटी की रिपोर्ट में दिए. So when a special purpose vehicle is formed, the purpose is different and you want to recommend the most modern thing or you want to recommend what is required, and special purpose vehicle is always established for a special purpose. चलिए मैं थोड़ा सा विषय से भटक गया हूँ शायद. Now we come to review of literature. Features of a good research or good review of literature. And what are the features of good review of literature? As a number of theses. And what people do, they just copy the paragraphs in the review of literature. Don't copy the paragraphs. It must be in your own language. It must be a narration by you. The review of literature should be relevant. ऐसा नहीं कि हर आर्टिकल माइक्रो, अगर आप माइक्रो इंडस्ट्रीज पर काम कर रहे हैं, एसएमई एमएसएमई पर काम कर रहे हैं, तो हर एमएसएमई का आर्टिकल आपके काम का है. आपको देखना है कि आप किस एरिया में काम कर रहे हैं. If you are working for self-help groups, the all articles related to self-help groups, they are relevant for you. So relevance must be checked whether it is relevant for you or not, it is meaningful for you or not. Then it has to be evaluated. Then whether the source is valid or not. Source बहुत important है कि आप कहाँ से ला रहे हैं आखिर वो source. Sources are very important. The source should be a valid source. Either it is from any journal or it is from any book or it is some published article. Valid source must be there. It should be focused. It should be concise and complete. It should be summarized and synthesized. ये नहीं कि जितना आपको मिला वैसा का वैसा आपने डाल दिया 2 पैराग्राफ में. It should be summarized by you, synthesized by you. Synthesize means उससे क्या कंक्लूजन निकलता है वो निकालिए आप और सब लोगों को बताइए अपनी भाषा में. The summarized and the synthesized, and clarity of content as well as representation, whether it represents your problem or not, and content is clear or it is not clear. These are the features of a good review of literature. It should be relevant, meaningful, evaluated, valid source. It should be focused, concise, and complete, summarized, synthesized, and clarity of content and representation. Then sources. What are various sources of research? Now books are very good sources, and we all begin research with the books. But which books? There are books which convey the knowledge. There are books which create the knowledge. There are books which are known as textbooks. There are books which are known as reference books. And in research, the textbooks will not work. It is the reference books which will work. So you go for reference books for the good sources. Then the journals. What are the journals? Project. and those journals should be very updated journals. They should be reputed journals, like they should be recognized by UGC. They should be recognized, or the Scopus journals. They're all recognized. The UGC accepted journals, they are recognized. Modi ji, even Inspira is recognized by UGC. So go for recognized, reputed journals. Then good magazines, newspapers. Now the Economic Times, the Financial Times, the Business Line, they are the good newspapers, and you can use their articles also. Good articles in various journals, good articles in various magazines and newspapers. Then conference proceedings, that some conference has taken place, then there are proceedings, and in proceedings there are certain abstracts, or there are 4 articles in the proceedings. Those articles can be used. The prior thesis, आपसे पहले जिन researchers ने PhD किया है, उनकी thesis में क्या available है, that can be used as a source for review of literature. And then sometimes unpublished literature can also be used. You can interview certain persons, authentic persons, that you have interviewed Prime Minister, you have interviewed the Health Minister for Corona, or you have interviewed the Health Secretary for Corona, and that interview you are using, which is an unpublished source, but you are using for your research because it is an interview of an authority. Now look at this slide. That the whole review of literature is what for? It is for finding out the research gap. And there we make the mistake that we do the review of literature but don't find out the research gap. At least there should be 1.5 page in the research or the thesis. It must be on research gap. That on the basis of the review of literature, whatever we have done, this is the research gap we have found out. And at least 2 pages, 1.5 pages must be given to research gap. Now look at this slide, you will find a gap, and this knowledge gap has to be fulfilled. If you are an engineer, this gap has to be bridged by the engineer. And we all are, as a researcher, we are engineers, academic engineers, and that knowledge gap has to be fulfilled. So what is research gap? Missing element in existing research literature. It is challenging and extending current knowledge, theories and assumptions. कि मान लीजिए जो भी थ्योरी अभी करंट में है आप उसको बदलना चाहते हैं, that is also a research gap. कि पहले कहते थे कि साहब लाइट सीधी चलती है, बाद में कहने लगे जिगजैग होकर के चलती है, कुछ कहने लगे बाद में साहब ये 3 दिन ऐसे चलती है और 3 दिन ऐसे चलती है. So if you are challenging assumption, then it is also research gap. Then ground of your research study emerging from other researches, what has been neglected by others, जो लोगों ने औरों ने नहीं कहा है, आपने कहा है, या आप कहना चाहते हैं, what others have forgotten to do the research, what others have ignored, what others have neglected, then insufficient information limiting the ability to reach a conclusion. वो भी research gap है. अगर कोई information insufficient है, तो आप उसको कैसे sufficient कर सकते हैं? That is a research gap. And then justifying of knowledge. I'm not able to see this point here. The literature review tells the reader what other researchers have discovered about the paper's topic, or tell the reader about other research that is relevant to the topic. A literature review should shape the way readers think about the topic. It educates readers about what the community of scholars say about a topic and its surrounding issues. Often what students call a research paper is merely a review of literature material for a researcher. Along the way, it states facts and ideas about the social world and supports those facts and ideas with credit for where they came from. क्योंकि रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर सारा एग्जिस्टिंग लिटरेचर ऑलरेडी रिसर्चर्स ने काम किया हुआ है, तो उनका सोर्स होता है वेयर दे हैव कम फ्रॉम. Similarly, it is an idea that cannot be substantiated by the community of scholars. The literature review makes clear that the author is speculating, and the logic of the speculation is detailed. So, अगर आपका जो परसेप्शन है वो सब्सटेंशिएट नहीं हो रहा है, इसका मतलब है आप कहीं से स्पेकुलेट कर रहे हैं चीजें, एग्जिस्टिंग लिटरेचर उसको सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा है. Then irrelevant information is not discussed in the review of literature. The literature review has its own voice. The sources of information are not extensively quoted. बस सिर्फ नाम लिखेंगे आप माथुर 2020. It is not extensively quoted there. If you want extensive quote, you go to reference. It should not be copied and pasted. Instead, the author puts facts and ideas into his or her own words while pointing out where the information came from. Think about how you tell family members about the exciting things. जैसे हम कहानी कहते हैं, tell a story and write review of literature as if you are telling a story to the family members in your own language. Literature reviews have parenthetical citations running throughout, like Mathur 2004, and it should be narrated in the storytelling way that, as our mama says a story to us, it should be in our own language. When we come to hypothesis, the plural of hypothesis is hypothesis. So if there are a number of hypotheses, then it is hypothesis. If it is a single hypothesis, it is THESIS and THESES. If there are a number of theses, the plural becomes SES. If there is one thesis, it is SIS. So we talk about hypothesis. As I earlier said, a hypothesis is an idea or an explanation or initial perception of a research. What I feel initially about the problem we are talking about or bothering about. But this idea, which is initial perception, has not been proved yet. It has not been found true yet because it has not been tested so far. So its trueness has to be tested through the study, through the research, through the experimentation. So a hypothesis is initial perception of researcher which has not been tested so far, and studies have to be, or experimentations have to be done to test it, whether the perception is correct or the perception is wrong. So it is more than a wild guess, but less than a well-established theory. The hypothesis is not a well-established theory, but it is slightly higher than a wild guess. It is not a guess. जब हम hypothesis बना रहे हैं तो हवा में बात नहीं कर रहे, वो बड़ी चौपड़ का भाषण नहीं है. It is based on certain facts. So it is a wild guess, but it is not an established theory, because established theory it will become when the tests come positive and the hypothesis is, alternative hypothesis is accepted. So research hypothesis दो तरह की होती हैं साहब, null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. कुछ लोगों में ये गलतफहमी है कि null hypothesis हमेशा negative होती है. Some researchers feel that if there is null hypothesis, it should be negative. It must begin with no. That there is significant relationship between service sector and globalization. ये तो alternative hypothesis हो गई. तो फिर साहब इसकी null hypothesis क्या होगी? There is no significant relationship between service sector and the globalization. This is not correct. Every null hypothesis is not begins with no. In fact, null hypothesis is one which is unbiased. जिसमें कोई पक्ष ना ले किसी तरह का, पलड़ा नहीं झुके किसी तरफ, वो null hypothesis है. और जहां पलड़ा झुक गया वो alternative hypothesis. If you believe something, this is alternative, and if you are not taking either this side or that side, that is null hypothesis. But if you say directly say no, so every null hypothesis doesn't begin with the no. For example, suppose I say that when the globalization is accepted by a country, then, or the computerization is increased in a country, the cyber crimes increase. Or there is a direct correlation, significant correlation between cyber crimes and the growth of IT sector. Now this is alternative hypothesis. तो आप अगर इसकी null hypothesis बनाएंगे तो आप कहेंगे साहब there is no significant relationship between cyber crimes and the IT growth. But it can be like this also. There is uniform increase in all types of crimes with the growth of IT sector. कि IT बढ़ेगा तो सारे तरह के क्राइम्स बढ़ेंगे, न केवल सिर्फ साइबर क्राइम्स ही बढ़ेंगे. Now this is not beginning with no. लेकिन जो लोग ये बिलीव करते हैं कि ये नो से ही शुरू होना चाहिए, उनकी नल हाइपोथेसिस होगी देयर इज नो सिग्निफिकेंट रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन साइबर क्राइम्स एंड द ग्रोथ ऑफ आईटी. तो नल हाइपोथेसिस में पलड़ा नहीं झुकना चाहिए किसी तरफ, जबकि अल्टरनेटिव हाइपोथेसिस में पलड़ा झुका हुआ होना चाहिए. दैट इज द बेसिक डिफरेंस बिटवीन नल हाइपोथेसिस एंड द अल्टरनेटिव हाइपोथेसिस. Null hypothesis is denoted by H naught, and that is supposed to be rejected, while the alternative hypothesis is denoted by H1, and that is supposed to be accepted. Normally, researcher चाहता है कि उसकी alternative hypothesis accept हो जाए और उसकी null hypothesis reject हो जाए, तो मेरा perception सही और खरा उतर जाए. ये जरूरी नहीं है कि आपकी alternative hypothesis accept ही होगी. It may be rejected also. When it is rejected, we will say that the alternative hypothesis has not been accepted. So whatever perception researcher had in mind, it has gone wrong rather than right. Then we come to design. Yesterday also we were talking about research design, and I asked Rana ji what are the features of a good research design, and he said that it should be proper time must be there, and then resources and time, and these are the variables he discussed about. But I would say a good research design is one जो flexible, जिसको बीच में भी बदलना संभव हो. A good is unbiased and which is flexible. जो unbiased हो और जो flexible हो और जिसमें टाइम ओरिएंटेशन का भी ध्यान हो, लिमिटेशंस का भी ध्यान हो, जिसमें जो है रिसोर्सेज कितने हैं हमारे, उस रिसोर्सेज के हिसाब से हमारा सैंपल सिलेक्शन हो. So a good research design is one which fulfills all these things, which is unbiased, which is flexible, which takes care of resources, which takes care of economy of doing research, which takes care of जिसमें रिजल्ट्स भी प्रभावित ना हो. ये भी ध्यान रखने की बात है. So research design includes primary data, secondary data, database, sampling methods, questionnaire, statistical tools, construction of econometric models. Research design should be such that it is unbiased and must have maximum reliability. Research design में सबसे important बात क्या है? निष्पक्ष होनी चाहिए और इसकी reliability maximum होना चाहिए. ज्यादा से ज्यादा विश्वसनीयता इसमें होनी चाहिए और निष्पक्षता इसमें होनी चाहिए. निष्पक्षता और विश्वसनीयता ये दो बहुत बड़े इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर हैं एक अच्छी रिसर्च डिजाइन के. So you have to, after selecting your hypothesis, formulating your hypothesis, you have to collect data. Your data can be primary, your data can be secondary. You can use database like CMIE, or you can use, if your data is primary, then you need to do sampling. And then sampling can be random sampling can be multi-stage sampling can be various step sampling or the snowball sampling. There are various methods of sampling. I need not to talk about sampling methods here. You can use questionnaire, test your questionnaire at the Likert scale. Then there are various statistical tools available. Rana Saab talked about various tools yesterday. Then in statistics gives us certain tools, ANOVA, t-test, f-test, chi-square test, multiple regression, etc. But remember one thing, that statistics can prove anything. The researcher's logic is very important. एक स्टैटिस्टिशियन से पूछा गया, वो अविवाहित थे, उनसे कहा गया कि आप विवाह क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं? Why are you not getting married? He said, my degree of freedom will be reduced if I do the marriage. So statistics can prove anything. मैंने आपको घड़ी का उदाहरण दिया अभी थोड़ी देर पहले. Averages में ऐसा होता है. If there are 10 girls and one is pregnant, the statistics will say that every girl is pregnant by 1/10. So statistics can prove anything. But you have to use your researcher's logic. And that researcher's logic is very important. while making research, while doing research. Similarly, while talking about econometric models, I talked about the catwalk models. कि जो बात सहज रूप से प्रूव हो रही है उसके लिए इकोनॉमेट्रिक मॉडल लगाने की क्या जरूरत है? So construct good models, good econometric models. Don't use economic tricks. ये economic tricks को use करना नहीं है. Refrain from these tricks. Don't use them only for catwalk models. Just कि सुंदर लगेगा इसलिए thesis में उसको यूज कर रहे हैं आप, ऐसा नहीं है. अगर आपका उपयोग है उसका कुछ, उससे कुछ प्रूव कर सकते हैं, कुछ रिजल्ट्स निकाल सकते हैं, तो इकोनॉमेट्रिक मॉडल्स को यूज कीजिए. अदरवाइज डोंट यूज इट. इट इज नॉट ऑलवेज नेसेसरी टू यूज द इकोनॉमेट्रिक मॉडल. So this is of doing research, the resources available, the timeliness and the limitations also. Then come the results. We are coming very near to thesis now because we have reached to the results now. Now, the result section must include professional tables showing descriptive and inferential statistics. बहुत सी thesis हम जब evaluate करते हैं तो पता लगता है बड़ी बड़ी tables उसमें दी हुई है, लेकिन tables का कोई analysis ही नहीं है. टेबल के नीचे कोई source ही नहीं है. Whether compile की हुई table है या कहीं से source है उसका कोई, the source must be given in italics below every table. Tabulation must be correct. And then उन टेबल से इन्फ्रेंस क्या निकल रहे हैं वो इन्फ्रेंस निकालिए कि ये चीज बढ़ रही है, ये चीज घट रही है, या थोड़ी देर तक बढ़ रही है, थोड़ी देर के बाद घट रही है, और अगर घट रही है बढ़ रही है तो उसकी रीजनिंग क्या है वो कहीं मिलता ही नहीं है थीसिस में. So whenever we are using the tables, the table must be analyzed properly. The inferences should be drawn that what does these increasing data or decreasing data or initially rising and then falling data, what does it actually means? What is the reasoning? Why it is falling? Why it is rising? Why initially it is rising and then it is falling? Find out the reasons for that. And that description must be there. So there should be narrative to describe these data. Narrative describing most relevant findings from those tables. The narrative and the tables are complementary. आपकी टेबल से जो डेटा है और आपने जो नरेटिव लिखा है वो दोनों मैच करने चाहिए. कि आपने नरेटिव में तो लिखा है कि ये बढ़ रही है और डेटा घटता हुआ बता रहा है, कहीं डेटा कहीं ये बता रहा है कि ये तो घट रहा है. So it must match. The narrative and the data must match. The narrative discusses only very important findings and refers to where information can be found in the tables as different facts are discussed. So friends, the tables contain almost all statistical information so that the author does not have to write a narrative for every detail in the analysis. So analysis part में आप इतना narrative जरूर दें कि टेबल से क्या निकल रहा है निष्कर्ष उसमें अवेलेबल हो. The results section includes evaluations of the hypothesis. जो hypothesis आपकी थी वो accept हुई या reject हुई, क्या findings निकली उससे, where the researcher, whether the researcher's hypothesis has been supported or it has been not been supported by the test. That has to be given in the result section. Then statements about new discoveries, new facts. आपकी रिसर्च के दौरान कुछ शॉक्स सामने आए हों, कुछ सरप्राइजेस सामने आए हों, कुछ नई डिस्कवरीज सामने आई हों, कुछ नए एनकाउंटर्स सामने आए हों, तो उनको सामने लाइए और उनको बताइए वहां पर रिजल्ट सेक्शन में सरप्राइजिंगली व्हाट यू फाउंड. कि आपको लगा कि साहब एजुकेशन से डाउरी सिस्टम कम होगा, लेकिन यू सरप्राइजिंगली फाउंड दैट जो ज्यादा पढ़े लिखे थे, जिनकी अच्छी नौकरियां लगी, वहां डाउरी सिस्टम और ज्यादा तेज हो गया और बढ़ गया. Surprises, what are the surprises? Then what are the encounters to confront it from? So result section में उन सबका जिक्र कीजिए. Then conclusions and discussions. This section assesses how one's research findings relate to what the community of scholars knew already. ये findings जो हमें पहले से पता थी और नई findings क्या हैं जो पहले से पता नहीं थी. You should summarize the most salient important points of your research. This is my contribution to the discipline or to the body of knowledge. This is the gap which I have fulfilled. This is the knowledge gap which my thesis has fulfilled. That should be separately discussed about. And discuss the general significance of your topic and findings. कि आपने जो काम किया है उसकी जनरल सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है, उससे आने वाले टाइम में समाज को क्या फायदा होने वाला है, जिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए काम किया उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को क्या फायदा होने वाला है, या पॉलिसी मेकिंग में उसका क्या फायदा होने वाला है, सबका जिक्र कीजिए. You should discuss the shortcomings of your study and what implications these have for your teaching. आपने जो रिसर्च की है उसकी शॉर्टकमिंग्स क्या है, हमें पता होती है हमारी कमियां क्या है, दूसरों को नहीं पता होती है. बट एक्सेप्ट देम, बहुत अच्छी तरह एक्सेप्ट कीजिए अपनी लिमिटेशंस को. That I could not find out the data for this, or data was not robust or not strong, or the data was not reliable, or the time was less, or the resources were less, or the misleading results were found, so I did not discuss them. अपनी limitations को स्वीकार कीजिए, सीमाओं को स्वीकार कीजिए, उसमें कोई बुरी बात नहीं. Discuss things future researchers should investigate about your topic. आगे आने वाले रिसर्च के लिए आप रेस छोड़कर जाइए, कुछ मशाल दूसरे के हाथ में देकर जाइए कि अब आपको आगे भागना है इस मशाल को लेकर के. So what you are suggesting to future researchers to do in your area, and leave the reader with the understanding he or she ought to have about the topic you spend so much time exploring. So आप जब लिखें तो रीडर के लिए भी कुछ छोड़ दें, सारी बात ना लिखें, कुछ रीडर्स को उसमें से इन्वेस्टिगेट करने दें. Then I come to references. जैसा मैंने कहा, references are given at the end of the chapter and the bibliography is given at the end of the thesis. Now the references are just as important as any other part of your paper. They are the link to the community of scholars that will permit your reader to assess the worthiness of the claims you make in your paper. क्योंकि आप जो क्लेम्स कर रहे हैं वो वहीं से देखेगा सोर्स क्या थे आपके, आपने कहाँ पढ़ा है सबको, तो वो रेफरेंसेस में उसको मिल जाएगा, तो वो उसको देख सकेगा और वेरीफाई कर सकेगा. The references also make the research process much more efficient because they make it very easy to look up sources of facts and ideas. तो उसको लगेगा कि सोर्सेज बड़े ऑथेंटिक हैं, सोर्सेज वैलिड हैं, सोर्सेज करेक्ट हैं, तो वो आपकी रिसर्च पे विश्वास करेगा. फुटनोट्स पर मैं आपको बहुत अच्छी जानकारी देने वाला हूँ. आजकल फुटनोट्स का चलन ही बंद हो गया है, बहुत सी थीसिस में अब फुटनोट देखने को ही नहीं मिलते. आप पाएंगे कि बहुत सी पुरानी किताबों में एक शब्द मिलता है IBID डॉट, जिसका मतलब होता है कि ये रेफरेंस रिपीट हो रहा है, पहले भी आ चुका और इमीडिएटली रिपीट हो रहा है. इसकी बात पिछली बार भी हो चुकी है, तुरंत बाद में इसकी फिर सेम ऑथर की बात हो रही है और सेम रिसर्च की बात हो रही है. So when the author is same, the source is same, it is immediately preceding reference. इससे पहले ही, ठीक पहले ये रेफरेंस आया था, फिर दोबारा उसका रेफरेंस आ गया. ये बात करते करते ही किसी की बात चल रही है, उसकी फिर दोबारा बात चल जाए, then it is IBID is used, IBID डॉट. लेकिन ये शॉर्ट फॉर्म है, द फुल फॉर्म क्या है इसका? IBIDEM, IBIDEM. The complete word is IBIDEM, IBIDEM, and we use the short form of the IBIDEM, which is IBID dot. अगर बात उसी ऑथर की है लेकिन पेज नंबर बदल गया है, तो आप IBID और फिर P15, IBID P25. पहले 15 नंबर के पेज की बात थी या 25 नंबर के पेज की बात है. You can do like this. अगर पेज सेम है तो IBID की जगह फिर दोबारा IBID लिख दी. दूसरा एक फुटनोट यूज किया जाता है ऑप्सिट, ओपेरे साइटाटो. ऑप्सिट, ओपेरे साइटाटो, इट इज ए लैटिन फ्रेज. और ये कब यूज किया जाता है? टू ऑफर द रीडर टू ए प्रीवियसली साइटेड वर्क. इमीडिएटली तो नहीं था लेकिन पहले उसका रेफरेंस आ चुका है. Then offset is used, op.cit dot, and the complete word is opere citato, OPERECITATO, to offer the reader to a previously cited work, but it is not immediately preceding, earlier आ चुका है पहले. Then the third important footnote is loc.cit, LOC.CIT dot. This is loco citato, LOCOCITATO, loco citato. That is in the place cited. Here you are not referring to previously cited work. The term is used to report the title and page number for a given work. जिस वर्क की आप बात कर रहे हैं उसका टाइटल क्या है, पेज नंबर क्या है, उसका ऑथर कौन है, इन द प्लेस साइटेड, उसका आप रेफरेंस यहाँ पर दे रहे हैं, that is called, तो लोकेशन बता रहे हैं. ऊपर वाले में प्रीवियसली साइटेड वर्क को रेफर कर रहे हैं, यहाँ आप उसकी लोकेशन बता रहे हैं कि ये जो रेफरेंस आया है इसका लोकेशन कहाँ है किताब में. एंड देन फाइनली एटल, et.al. कई लोग ईटी के बाद ही डॉट लगा देते हैं इसमें. ईटी के बाद स्पेस देना है, फिर एल लिखना है, फिर डॉट लगाना है. लोग ऐसे ही लगा देते हैं, कुछ पता नहीं कहाँ डॉट लग रहा है. कोई एल पे लगा देता है, कोई ईटी पे लगा देता है, कोई स्पेस ही नहीं करता, ईटी एल लिख के डॉट लगा देता है. ऐसी बहुत सी थीसिस देखी है मैंने और बहुत गोले किए अपनी जिंदगी में इस तरह पे. लेकिन आप देखेंगे कि एट एल जो है कब यूज किया जाता है, जब दो से ज्यादा ऑथर होते हैं. माथुर एट एल कि साहब एक किताब एनडी माथुर और अनिल मेहता और एसएस मोदी साहब की है तो माथुर एट यूज किया जाएगा. लेकिन एटेल का मतलब कंप्लीट वर्ड है एट एलिया. इसका मतलब है एंड अदर्स. एट एलिया, ETALIA का मतलब है एटेल, एट एलिया, राइट. देन इसमें भी आप देखेंगे ET.ALII, अगर मेल है सारे तो इसकी कंप्लीट वर्ड है. शॉर्ट फॉर्म तो सबकी एटेल है, लेकिन अगर मेल है तो अगर दोनों लिखने वाले मेल हैं, दो से ज्यादा लोग, तो एट एली ALII है. और फीमेल है अगर दो से ज्यादा तो एट एली ALEAE है उसकी पूरी कंप्लीट स्पेलिंग. और अगर कॉमन है तो एट एलिया है. मतलब महिलाएं पुरुष दोनों हैं तो एट एलिया, सिर्फ पुरुष है तो एट एली, और सिर्फ महिला है तो एट एली. आपको ये इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं मिलेगी कहीं, जो मैं आपको नई इन्फॉर्मेशन दे रहा हूँ, लेकिन इन सबका शॉर्ट फॉर्म एट एली है. तो तीनों केस. So this is about footnotes. Then come to bibliography. Now bibliography comes at the end of the PhD thesis. And there are various versions of writing a bibliography. The APA is a version, MLA is a version, Indian Journal is a version. We have 15 minutes. अमेरिकन साइकोलॉजी एसोसिएशन इज APA वर्जन, और उसमें हम किताब अगर है तो कैसे लिखेंगे, पहले लास्ट नेम, उसके बाद फर्स्ट नेम, फिर मिडिल नेम. LFM का मतलब है लास्ट नेम, फर्स्ट नेम एंड मिडिल नेम. एंड देन ब्रैकेट में ईयर्स, देन टाइटल, देन सिटी, देन स्टेट, देन पब्लिशर. अगर जर्नल है तो लास्ट नेम, फर्स्ट नेम, मिडिल नेम, then year, article title, journal name, volume, issue, PP, page numbers. अगर मैगजीन है LFM, then year of month, year, month, publisher, article title, which magazine, the issue and the page numbers. दूसरा मेथड है MLA मेथड, मॉडर्न लैंग्वेज एसोसिएशन. नॉर्मली सोशल साइंसेज में APA मेथड काम में लिया जाता है, अमेरिकन साइकोलॉजी एसोसिएशन का. But in languages, the MLA method used, language association. Books अगर है तो पहले last name, फिर first name, then title, city, publisher, year, pages, medium, भाषा कौन सी है. Then journal है तो पहले last name, फिर first name, फिर middle name, then article, title, then series, volume, issue, year of publication, pages, medium. अगर newspaper है the LFM and then other things are given here. देखिए ये रेफरेंसेस और बिब्लियोग्राफी मैंने इन मेथड्स में दी हैं. आर्टिकल्स में लास्ट नेम, फर्स्ट नेम, आर्टिकल टाइटल, जर्नल नेम. सो ली जेम्स डैनियल, नाउ ली लास्ट नेम है, ये फर्स्ट नेम है जेम्स, ये मिडिल नेम है डैनियल. देयर है डू गर्ल्स चेंज मोर देन बॉयज, ये टाइटल है. Gender differences and similarities in the impact of new relationships, ये टाइटल है. And then पेज नंबर्स दिए हुए हैं, वॉल्यूम है 4 and then पेज नंबर्स 131 to 147. So this way references in the bibliography goes up. Then friends, UGC का एक ऑर्गन है इनफ्लिबनेट, जिसका अहमदाबाद में ऑफिस है. इंफॉर्मेशन एंड लाइब्रेरी नेटवर्क, इनफ्लिबनेट. और इनफ्लिबनेट में 3 इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हैं. शोध गंगोत्री, Shodh Ganga and Shodh Sindhu. What is Shodh Gangotri? It is repository of Indian research in progress. जितनी रिसर्च चल रही है, जितनी सोच हम बनाते, उसकी रिपोजिटरी है शोध गंगोत्री. तो शोध गंगोत्री इज रिपोजिटरी ऑफ इंडियन रिसर्च इन प्रोग्रेस. कंप्लीट नहीं हुई है रिसर्च, प्रोग्रेस में है. Whereas शोध गंगा इज रिजर्वायर ऑफ इंडियन थीसिस. जो पीएचडी किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में सबमिट होती है, उसकी एक स्लाइड कॉपी, जो हम सॉफ्ट कॉपी है, वो इन्फ्लिपनेट को भेजती है यूनिवर्सिटी. वो एमओयू है यूनिवर्सिटी के बीच में और इन्फ्लिपनेट के बीच में. सो शोध गंगा और शोध गंगोत्री में क्या फर्क है? शोध गंगा इज रिजर्वायर ऑफ इंडियन थीसिस, whereas शोध गंगोत्री इज रिपोजिटरी ऑफ इंडियन रिसर्च इन प्रोग्रेस. एक तीसरी चीज और इंपॉर्टेंट है, शोध सिंधु, ई शोध सिंधु. दिस इज कंसोर्टियम फॉर हायर एजुकेशन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक रिसोर्सेज. यूजीसी इन्फोनेट, इंफॉर्मेशन एंड network digital library consortium. It has collection of 15,000 peer review journals. e-शोध सिंधु ये कंसोर्टियम है. इस कंसोर्टियम को शेयर कर सकते हैं आपस में, सारी यूनिवर्सिटी शेयर कर सकती हैं यूजीसी इन्फोनेट के माध्यम से. दिस इज डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी कंसोर्टियम which is collection of 15,000 reviewed journals. तो तीन चीजें मैंने आपको बताई. शोध गंगोत्री which is repository of Indian research in progress, Shodh Ganga which is a reservoir of Indian thesis, and Shodh Sindhu which is a consortium of UGC Infonet about e-journals. Then we come to plagiarism. आजकल इसकी बड़ी चर्चा होती है और हर थीसिस सबमिट करने से पहले प्लेजियरिज्म चेक करना पड़ता है. प्लेजियरिज्म का चेक करना पड़ता है, उसकी रिपोर्ट देनी पड़ती है, उसके बाद थीसिस एक्सेप्ट होती है. So what is plagiarism? ये प्रोफेशनल इश्यूज हैं और कई बार हम एंटी प्रोफेशन के खिलाफ काम करते हैं. कई बार नो फैब्रिकेशन एंड फाल्सिफिकेशन ऑफ डेटा, नॉन पब्लिकेशन ऑफ डेटा, फॉल्टी डेटा और फॉल्टी डेटा गैदरिंग प्रोसीजर्स, पुअर डेटा. कई बार डाइनिंग टेबल डेटा फिटिंग कर लेते हैं, हम घर बैठे ही क्वेश्चन भर लेते हैं. फॉल्टी डेटा गैदरिंग प्रोसीजर्स, पुअर डेटा स्टोरेज एंड डिटेंशन, मिसलीडिंग ऑथरशिप, लिखा किसी ने और एक नाम मैंने भी जोड़ दिया. स्नीकी और हिडन पब्लिकेशन प्रैक्टिसेस, पुराना आर्टिकल है उसको फिर दोबारा टाइटल बदल के छाप दिया. दिस इज स्नीकी पब्लिकेशन प्रैक्टिसेस. तो ये सब जो है वो प्रोफेशनल एफिनिटी के खिलाफ है. और आजकल देखिए अनएथिकल प्रैक्टिसेस कैसी हैं. इस बैनर को देखिए, आर्टिकल्स, रिसर्च पेपर, थीसिस, डिसर्टेशन, राइटिंग एंड पब्लिकेशन, शॉप नंबर 2 एग्रो मॉल, सेक्टर 14 रोहतक हरियाणा. खुलेआम टेलीफोन नंबर दे रखा है. सो एंटी प्लेजियरिज्म के सॉफ्टवेयर्स आ गए हैं. वाइपर एक सॉफ्टवेयर है, प्लेजियम है, एंटी प्लेजियम है, पेपरेटर है, डुप्ली चेकर है, प्लेजियरिज्म चेकर है, प्लेग ट्रैकर है, प्लेजियरिज्म नेट है, प्लेजियरिज्म टर्निटिन है. टर्निटिन आजकल बड़ा पॉपुलर हो गया है, किसी की तरफ से भी सर्कुलर्स में बार बार नाम आता है इसका, टर्निटिन. सो एंटी प्लेजियरिज्म सॉफ्टवेयर्स हैं इस तरह के. 1 अप्रैल 2008 को एक आर्टिकल आया था द ग्रेट रिसर्च बुल टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया में कि भारत में किस तरह की रिसर्च हो रही है. इसका पहला पैराग्राफ पढ़ के सुनाता हूं आपको. दिस में टेरिफाई यू. द ग्रेट रिसर्च बुल आप गूगल में डालिए, तुरंत ये आर्टिकल निकल के आ जाएगा. दिस में टेरिफाई यू. रेनल टेलेक्सोमिया इज एन एडोलसेंट सैंपल until you realize that what is renal टेलेक्सोनोमिया. इट इज नोज पिकिंग हैबिट. लोग नाक में उंगली डालते हैं. दिस इज रेनल टेलेक्सोमिया. एंड दैट द सीमिंगली रेवरेंशियल रिसर्च टाइटल कंसर्न द स्टडी ऑफ नोज डिगिंग हैबिट्स इन chosen individuals conducted across a sample size of 200 respondents. The research of B.S. Srihari from National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS in Bangalore, concluded that all the volunteers admitted to nose picking with a median frequency of 4 times a day. Nearly 8% picked the nose more than 20 times a day. Some even said that they ate what they found. Many predictably used their fingers, but 6.5% used tweezers and 4.5% used pencils. Now, what kind of research this is? Is it a meaningful research? what kind of research is going on in the country. Thesis departments are overflowing with research works that probably have no reference value. Somewhere in the thickers of bound papers in our universities are abstract researches, like one that delves into access to PowerPoint presentations in a particular district. And another tries to understand the concept of an individual man and woman. Diwan Nandini from Applied Psychology Department of Mumbai University distributed questionnaires to college students and asked them to write traits they would like in their ideal partner. After a few years, she concluded that women want men to be ambitious and masculine, and the man wants women to be feminine. Lalita Dhara, a student from the Department of Statistics from Mumbai University, has pursued an MPhil dissertation on variation in family size due to sex preferences and stopping rules. The thesis is replaced with probability equations on the number of trials a couple needs to have a live son or a dead son, or live girl or a dead girl, before they achieve their goal and can stop. So this is pitiable. These research papers are not even toilet papers. What to do? Why to do such type of research work? The research should be such which solves the problem. Research should be such that it adds to the body of knowledge, to the knowledge, it fulfills a knowledge gap. So, friends, we are coming to an end now. What are the do's of doing research? Make accurate claims in your paper. Stake out positions, a kind of, I think I have answered to this issue. Don't write in first person. Don't write I. You are not an authority. You are not, by doing research, you are not become an authority. So don't use I. I went to my supervisor with the chapter and I wrote many things. And when I went back, my supervisor had at least 50 rounds on my research paper, because I have used I at many spaces. He said, you are not the authority. Where is the source? And he told me what is the source of what I said. He told me what is the source of what I told. So refrain from this. Write in the second person, not in the first person. Cite facts to support your claims. Everything. I attended the lecture of Professor Dholkia of IIM Ahmedabad, and every sentence in the word he spoke in his lecture, it was backed by some research. It was some research was cited. So cite facts to support your claims. If you can use theories to support your claims, you tell those facts. Provide a concrete problem definition. Give due acknowledgement. अगर आपने किसी का काम लिया है काम में, तो उसको acknowledgement दीजिए, उसको quote कीजिए. Write in simple and short phrases. Don't write long phrases. Write simple and short phrases in your own language. Anticipate your readers' questions as you write, and then while writing, keep thinking. Establish hypothesis. Describe how to test the hypothesis. Give results of the test, and discuss what the reader should believe about the world or what you have done. So friends, don't have shortcuts in life. PhD doesn't have a shortcut. आप देखिए, अगर आप शॉर्टकट यूज करेंगे तो कितने लहूलुहान हो जाएंगे, आप इसका अंदाजा लगा सकते. What you should not do while doing PhD. Don't oversell your thesis or its claims. बहुत अपने आप को oversell मत कीजिए कि मैंने ही किया है जो कुछ किया और किसी ने कुछ किया ही नहीं था, और रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर में मुझे तो कुछ मिला ही नहीं, सब काम मुझे ही करना पड़ रहा है. Don't use hyperbole or far from reality. जो चीजें रियलिटी से दूर है उनकी बात मत कीजिए. Don't try to sound as your thesis covers entire field. Don't belittle other researchers. और researchers को छोटा करने की कोशिश मत कीजिए. अगर आपको आलोचना भी करनी है किसी की, you should be hard on the issue and soft on the person. Don't criticize the person, criticize the issue. Then make criticism harsh. Don't make criticism harsh and personal. Don't expect to shoehorn all the work. कई लोग क्या करते हैं कि सारा काम जो रिलेटेड नहीं है वो भी उसमें एंटर करने की कोशिश करते हैं. जैसे हम जूता पहनने के लिए शू हॉर्न यूज करते हैं, जैसे वो सब चीज उसके अंदर डालने की कोशिश करते हैं. Don't present a set of scattered, unrelated results that do not help as a whole. Praise all the advantage of all approach repeatedly. दूसरे लोगों की भी प्रशंसा कीजिए जिनका काम आपने काम में है. Don't have conjectures. Wild guess मत लगाइए. Conjectures, कयास मत लगाइए. It should be backed by resources. It should be backed by sources. It should be backed by discoveries and facts and the apparatus you have used. Don't write in poor language. Don't have repetitions. बार बार एक ही बात मत कहिए. And don't have insufficient analysis. So what is the checklist for revising a draft? Does the content match the title? Are important points emphasized enough? Is the content within each section appropriate? Is there logical sequence available? Whether information sources acknowledged or not? Do the conclusions relate to the objectives or not? Conclusion and objectives must match. Have you followed the conventions and regulations? Thesis submit करने के लिए कुछ conventions होती हैं, regulations होते हैं. A4 size का paper होना चाहिए, yellow color होना चाहिए या red color होना चाहिए. Have you followed those conventions and regulations or not? Is the meaning of the each sentence clear or open to interpretation? Can long sentences be broken down? Whether spelling error has to be checked and corrected, and whether references are properly mentioned or not. So friends, the balance is the key. The work-life balance की बात हम करते हैं जिंदगी में. उसने जब PhD रिसर्च कर रहे हैं तो सब तरफ ध्यान होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं कि हमारा इंट्रोडक्शन का चैप्टर 200 पेज का है, फिर रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी का 10 पेज का है, और फिर तीसरा चैप्टर जो हम रिसर्च डिजाइन का है वो 6 पेज का ही है, और फिर 25 पेज का पैक. प्रोपोर्शन करेक्ट होना चाहिए. द बैलेंस इज द की टू सक्सेस. एवरी चैप्टर शुड बी राइटली बैलेंस्ड. हो सकता है 5% 10% डिफरेंसेस हो सकते हैं, but there should be balance, and the balance is the key to success. Friends, a good research report has an appreciation for what came before. It focuses on interesting and important part. It is well reasoned. तर्क होते हैं उसमें, reasoning होती है. Has well designed experiments. It is hypothesis driven. Changes the way people think. It will change radically the way people think. तो रिसर्चर अपनी बात फैक्ट से कहता है तो बदलाव लाके दिखा सकता है. एंड इट हैज पब्लिशेबल रिजल्ट्स. एक पीएचडी थीसिस की जब रिपोर्ट लिखी जाती है तो एक लाइन ये लिखी जाती है, द थीसिस इज सब्सटेंशियल फॉर पब्लिकेशन और नॉट. देन रिपोर्ट में कहा जाता है कि इट इज सब्सटेंशियली सुटेबल फॉर पब्लिकेशन बट इज नॉट सुटेबल फॉर पब्लिकेशन, और इट कैन बी published only after certain corrections. That report is to be given. Is logical in presentation, analysis and argumentation. It should be well illustrated with figures and graphs. It should be well written without grammatical and spelling errors, and it must have an appreciation of what comes next. So friends, with this I close my lecture of paradigm, research paradigm from hypothesis to thesis. In the end I would say कि हमको नई रविश के हल्के जकड़ रहे हैं और बातें तो बन रही है और घर उजड़ रहे हैं. पुरानी और नई रोशनी में फर्क सिर्फ इतना है कि उसे कश्ती नहीं मिलती, इसे साहिल नहीं मिलता. हमारे ज़माने में तो साधन ही नहीं थे, अब तो इतने साधन हैं, इतने ई रिसोर्सेज हैं, इतने जर्नल्स हैं, इतनी टेक्नोलॉजी है, इतने डेटाबेस हैं कि अब रिसर्चर्स का काम और आसान हो गया है. तो अब जब रिसर्चर्स के पास इतने साधन हैं तो क्यों ना अच्छी रिसर्च की जाए, क्यों ना अच्छी शोध की जाए और नॉलेज गैप को फुलफिल किया जाए कि आने वाले समय में कोई विषय आपके नाम से जाना जाए. धन्यवाद. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
स्क्रीन शेयर स्टॉप कर दीजिए. स्क्रीन शेयर स्टॉप कर दीजिए.
स्क्रीन शेयर.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing the depth of the knowledge about the research, hypothesis, and literature review. So many comments in YouTube and Zoom. All are very happy, sir. All are praising you. All are thanking you. It's really a nice and informative session for all of us. We are really thankful to you, sir. Some questions I have selected. One of the participant is asking, sir, what is the difference between inductive and deductive logics and research? हाँ, unmute कर दीजिए.
नहीं हो रहा है,
हो जाएगा?
नहीं हो रहा है.
हाँ, अब हो जाएगा. Yes.
Yeah, your question is about inductive and deductive logic. Now, when we go from, we add on things, we go from particular to general, then it is inductive method. And when we start with the universal truth and we just narrow down it to the particular, then it is deductive method. For example, if I behave rationally, or the Mehta Sahab behave rationally, or the Modi ji behaves rationally, or the X behaves rationally and the Y behaves rationally, Z behaves rationally, so we will make an inductive conclusion that normally a consumer behaves rationally. A consumer is always rational. Now this is inductive logic. And when we start with the universal truth that consumer is rational, and so Ram is rational, or Mohan is rational, or ND Mathur is rational, then it is coming from general to particular. This is deductive logic. So we can begin with inductive logic also and the deductive logic also, or the same thing can be verified by both the logics. And this helps us to find out the worthwhileness of the research if it is okay on both the logics.
Thank you so much, sir. One of the participant is asking, is bibliography tells only about the electronic sources like websites or for thesis report?
Bibliography begins with books, number one. There should be books, should be at the initial. After the books, there should be journals. Then after the journals, there should be research papers. Then after the research papers, there should be bibliography also. But normally what happens when we use bibliography and the websites are quoted in the bibliography or the bibliography, we don't write the date on which we have seen that website, because websites are continuously updated. After you're seeing it, it might have been updated. So the date when you saw that website, that date should be mentioned there in the bibliography, wherever you are quoting it. So books, then journals. It may be e-journals also if you are quoting the journals. Then there should be e-resources, all e-resources or the various e-journals. And then the bibliography also, and the articles, research articles also.
If someone wants to excuse me, if someone wants to ask question, you can raise your hands. Yes, Priya Modi, you can ask. Please speak. Priya Modi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can ask. I have unmuted you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Priya Modi.
Yes, sir.
No. Your voice is not coming.
I can hear you.
Is it now?
Okay.
Yeah, Priya, speak,
Sir, please. वो कर लो, unmute.
Yeah, Priya,
Yes,
speak.
sir, I have unmuted myself.
Mute करिए आप.
Okay, good afternoon first of all.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for clarifying some of my doubts. But I wanted to ask now, since I'm reading on agriculture data, now I have the old data. How can I find the databases, current databases through the new sources?
New sources, the agriculture data is calculated by various agencies, especially the statistics
Yes,
department
sir.
of every state. They are collecting data of every crop. So you go to
Yes.
statistics department of the state, and they have
Okay.
annual publications also about every crop. So you can get the up to last year's data you can get in the agriculture, especially statistics department of the state. The
Okay, sir.
Rajasthan
In the
statistical
statistical department.
Yeah. And nice to see you.
Rajasthan
Priya.
Statistical Department.
Good question.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is there anybody wants to ask? Okay, Kamakshi Mehta. Kamakshi Mehta, you can ask. Yes, Kamakshi Mehta.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, Kamakshi, please.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. आपका mic शायद.
Hello.
Yeah, please speak. I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, thank you first of all for giving such a wonderful session, sir. I have a simple question. When I am writing my research papers and getting the plagiarism checked on Turnitin, many of the journals require us to check to give the plagiarism report, including the references. Now, when I include the references, the plagiarism goes high. Say if the normal plagiarism of the paper was coming, say 4 to 5%, including references, it increases by 7 to 8%. Now, how to do that? How to avoid that increase in plagiarism due to references?
Due to references only?
Yes, sir. Otherwise, plagiarism is okay in my papers because I write on my own. But when I include the references and I check it, I give it out for the journals, they include the references while...
So you give both the reports without references and with references and tell them that with references it is going high and it has no meaning because it is only references which I am doing and it can be reported, that can be repeated. And you give both the reports to them. I think they'll be satisfied by that.
Otherwise, there is no other method of removing plagiarism from the reference part.
At least I don't know. I cannot help in this, that how to remove that plagiarism if the reference plagiarism there. I can tell you about the plagiarism if there is in the non-reference part. I can tell you, but in the reference part I cannot tell you how can you reduce it.
Right.
But if you give both the reports, I think they'll be satisfied.
Right, sir. Even in the non-reference part, like the comment which you're using, say.
Yeah. What is your question?
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you so much. Sir, one of the participant is asking.
Let her ask. Let her ask. Important बात चल रही है. कुछ नहीं दीजिए. कामाक्षी, आप कुछ पूछ रहे थे?
आप म्यूट कर लीजिए सर, अनम्यूट कर लीजिए.
सर मैं पूछ रही थी, मैं ये बोल रही थी कि जैसे मैं आई एम अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, आई एम वर्किंग, आई एम राइटिंग माय थीसिस ऑन forensic audit in accounts. Audit. Sir, the issue with me is like when I give out check the plagiarism, तो उसमें जो कॉमन वर्ड्स होते हैं जैसे फोरेंसिक ऑडिट है, करंट रेशियो, ये भी वो प्लेगरिज्म में टर्निटिन ले लेता है. तो
use thesaurus to change the common word.
सर बट ये तो सर फोरेंसिक ऑडिट है, इंटरनल, और ये तो वर्ड सर यूज होंगे ही, ये कैसे कॉमन वर्ड्स चेंज करें इसको?
नहीं, उससे तो इतना ज्यादा नहीं आएगा, पर जहां पर ही आपको लगता है कि वर्ड कैन बी चेंज, यूज द thesaurus for that purpose. Okay. And use your own language in writing, make slides and then start. Don't have the material in your front when you are writing. You first have the contents, grasp that content, make slides of those contents in simple words, and then start writing so that the lesser and lesser words will be repeated.
Okay, sir.
I have tried it and successfully I have tried it.
Okay, sir. Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, बस the last question only. Sir, one of the participant is asking if every time hypothesis comes null, what is the other way to find the hypothesis?
Why every time hypothesis comes null? The hypothesis can be null and alternative both. You are framing it.
Unmute कर लीजिए sir.
You cannot get every time hypothesis null. Then the hypothesis, you are the formulator of the hypothesis. And you have formulated a hypothesis. You can frame both. That this is my alternative hypothesis, this is my null hypothesis. And if your alternative hypothesis is rejected, then you will say that your null hypothesis has been accepted and that is the result because your perception has gone wrong. But how every time this will happen? It will happen for one hypothesis only. Second hypothesis may have different result. Third hypothesis may have another result. Fourth may have some other result. So every time, why, how it can happen? I'm sorry. If it happens, it means there is some problem in framing of the hypothesis. Then hypothesis has not been rightly framed or formulated.
Thank you so much, sir.
स्क्रीनशॉट ले लीजिए, एक स्क्रीनशॉट
Screenshot ले लिया, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for providing us this knowledge. Now I invite. Actually, we are running out of time, so we need to wind up. So now I would like to invite Dr. Rajiv, sir, Dr. Rajiv Srivastav, sir, to give a thank note. Dr. Rajiv, sir. So please unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, all. This brings us to the end of second session. I, Dr. Rajesh Srivastav, on behalf of LBS PG College Jaipur and Inspira Research Association Jaipur, would like to thank everyone for participating in the webinar on 3 days National Online Faculty Development Program and Management Development Program on research methodology, tools and techniques. I hope today's session on research paradigm from hypothesis to thesis gave you requisite insights. I firmly believe that the capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill. The willingness to learn is a choice. When I see all of you actively participating and making the most of these sessions, I feel so happy that the pandemic has not slowed anyone's zeal for learning down. I would also like to thank our speaker, Professor Dr. Andy Mathur. It was indeed a privilege to have you on board. I would like to thank you for sharing your knowledge with everyone. It was truly a great privilege to attend the session, which was filled with such an experienced and knowledgeable presenter and keen participants. Let's promise not to let our zeal for learning slow down. See you tomorrow for session 3. Thank you.
Thank you to all the participants for patiently hearing me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Now I'm sharing the सर वहां से बंद कर दीजिए सर, म्यूट कर दीजिए अपने आप को, वॉइस
म्यूट है,
स्पीकर की वॉइस बंद कर दीजिए, इको हो रही है,
स्पीकर निकाल दिया मैंने,
स्पीकर लगा लीजिए, हाँ लगा लीजिए, ओके, हाँ यस, नाउ पूरा लगा लीजिए, हाँ गलत लगा दिया, हाँ अब सही, पूरा लगा लीजिए, यस यस. Hello, I am sharing the assignment link of today's lecture. I am sharing in the chat box of Zoom as well as in the YouTube box. If you don't get the, kindly WhatsApp me. I will send you on WhatsApp also. And also please subscribe our channel so that when this video upload, you will be the first to notify this video. And also you can get the link from our channel also. So I am sharing this link. Just wait for 2 minutes. Yes, now I'm sharing the link. I have copied. Yes, that is the link. You can copy the link and you can submit up to tomorrow. I'm sharing in YouTube comment box also. Yeah. So please copy this link and you can submit it. And if any query and if someone don't get this link, please WhatsApp me. Okay, thank you. Now we will meet tomorrow, same time. The tomorrow's lecture will be given by Professor Anil Mehta. The topic will be the methods of data collection and research. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am ending the meeting. Thank you. Thank you all.